Here we go. I apologize. I am a little bit muddy. I don't know if you can actually see that or not. Frozen pipes over the last week, and I'm going around repairing. I'm Mr. Fix It, my family. So, anyhow, let's get back to business. So, we learned a few things about the Colts today. First thing, offensive line still isn't fixed. Second thing, Nelson is definitely overpaid. He got shoved right back into Ehlinger. So we have
Nick Foles back after the pick six, and Nick Foles goes down, and Nick Foles is hurt. That's an odd looking, there's a celebration going on, and then Nick Foles is down and injured. If someone pick up the giant, that's Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, he's having a good time for the sack, but there's an injured player, and that's Nick Foles down, and it looks like he's in distress.
Nick Foles gets sacked, and he's injured. Kayvon Thibodeau, or something to that effect, I believe is his name. Gets the sack the first time, does the whole sleeping bullshit. And then he does the snow angels beside him while he's injured. I mean, really? I mean, I think that would almost be interfering with trying to get help to Foles, right? I mean, he wasn't exactly in the way, but he wasn't getting out of the way. I mean, that to me, that should be a penalty. That should be intimidation, or what do they call that? Unsportsmanlike conduct. That's what that should have been. Because that was very unsportsmanlike, unprofessional. You have a player that is injured, that you injured, and most players nowadays, if somebody gets injured, they respect it, and most of them won't even get down on a knee. I'm not saying he needed to get down on a knee, but what I am saying is that he needed to respect the situation. He needed to roll over to his sideline. So that was a bunch of BS. How that didn't draw a flag, I don't know. But they have the right to celebrate. But that was almost like rubbing it in his face. And Foles is down on the ground, not able to get up. Are you fucking kidding me? Anyhow, so we have that happened to Foles, and that was right before the end of the first half. I think there was 30 seconds left in the first half. And started the second half, we got Sam Ehlinger. Sam Ehlinger, honestly, I think he looked better. A little rusty coming out. He started moving the ball around. He made some important throws he needed to make. He threw a touchdown. I think he moves around better in the pocket, and I think that's the reason why he looked a little better. Numbers are really close to the same, I believe, between Nick and Sam Ehlinger. So I think Nick had something like 89 yards and an interception. I think he was, 8 of 12, I believe. And then Sam was 9 of 13, I think. He was for like 64 yards and a touchdown. However, the drive that he put together looked pretty good. They did go forward on fourth down, because they did go into a fourth down, but he made those throws he needed to make. Now, regardless of how similar they look, he's had 3 games under his belt. I still don't personally think we can judge Sam. He's got 3 NFL games under his belt, and I personally just don't think he's got enough experience. So, and driving down the field and making a touchdown, something that wasn't able to happen the entire first half, kind of, I think, proves something. We were able to run the ball, but it wasn't for a lot. Most of our runs were 3 to 4 yards. Most of them 2 to 3, to be honest with you. And then we had some 3 to 7. We had a few 7s mixed in there, but it just wasn't a whole lot of yards, and it wasn't productive enough for us to sustain a drive at all. So we didn't run the ball well enough. But our offensive line is just overpaid. Quentin Nelson, I don't know how that happened. I really don't. I'm going to try to look back on some video on that, but he was just bull rushed right into Sim's lap, right into his lap. He was bull rushed. He got knocked down. Sam got knocked down. It was a sack. You cannot be the highest paid on that offensive line and let that happen to you. You can't. We have the highest paid offensive line in the NFL, and you're the highest paid one out of all of them. You can't let that happen. But and plus he's going to Pro Bowl, so he's going to have. I don't know. Maybe he tripped and fell. I don't really know what happened, but that did not look good for him being in the Pro Bowl. That just didn't. We lose it 10-38. Defense is not playing well anymore. I know we got a pick, or no, we got a fumble. I retract that statement. We got a fumble in the first half that we did nothing with. We went 3 and out directly after, and we missed the field goal. So what? It should have been 13-38. It is what it is. Season's over with. We need to use these games for evaluation. We got one more game left against the Texans at home, and we should win that game. Do we want to win that game? I don't want them to tank. I know that there's been some talk about how Kentucky's quarterback he set the entire that bowl game. He said he didn't play, protecting himself, as they say, and not helping his teammates out. I can kind of understand where he's coming from, but it is kind of messed up. You didn't play in a game in which you could have made a difference in. So with that said, I am not going to say don't draft this guy because he's thinking about himself. I mean, everybody's dream that plays football in college level, I'd say 90% of them want to go pro. And if they feel like they might get hurt, well, they're going to protect themselves. It's just how it is. But this bullshit with the sleeping and the fucking snow angels next to Nick Foles, I am not a Nick Foles fan. That's just disrespectful. Disrespectful toward the Colts, disrespectful toward the entire NFL. That is a player that you could have played with sometime in your career. That is not a teammate, but it is a player in the NFL that is no better or no worse off than you are. So quit looking like a fool and quit clowning around like an idiot. You're getting no respect for that. And I hope to God ESPN says something about this, and hopefully he gets fined for it, because that was a bunch of bullshit. The whole sleeping bullshit, fuck all that. I don't even care less about that bullshit. Forget that. The fucking snow angels, that's too far. Too far. Next to a guy that's injured. Yes, you injured him. You're pumped up because you got the sack. I get it. Go celebrate. He's injured. He's not getting up. Get out of the fucking way. Jesus Christ. Anyhow, that's my thoughts on the game. Hopefully we either get a quarterback in the draft or in the top 3. One of the top 3, which I really hope it's this guy. I'm trying to remember his name. I can't think of it now. It's the quarterback for Kentucky. I'm hoping that's who we pick up. Or we get Jordan Love, and maybe we can give a first, second rounder out for him. I mean, he's young enough. We can build around him. He'd be there. He's still got years to play. So I personally think he can be a good quarterback. But we also need to go out there and we need to do something about our offensive line. I don't give a fuck what it is. Our offensive line needs to start getting fixed. If that means people get traded or people get fired or whatever it fucking takes, this offensive line is not cutting it. This is not NFL offensive line. This standard is not any played. Anyhow, if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and I keep on saying it, but I will go live. I'm a very busy person. I will make it one of these days. You guys have a great one. And if you didn't like this video, please scroll down and see if you like one of my videos I've made prior to. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with you. We just got a comment. Here's the thing. That Kayvon Thibodeau, I go after Kayvon Thibodeau doing the sleep thing and doing snow angels after he breaks Foles' ribs. I'm not saying he's got to take a knee next to Nick Foles and say a couple of Hail Marys for him. That's not what needs to happen. But you start clowning after you put my quarterback out of the game and break his ribs, we're either coming for you or we're coming for your quarterback. And the Colts didn't do a damn thing. I thought that Bobby Okereke kind of tried to hit Daniel Jones a couple of times, and that was a good thing. But there's got to be a comeuppance for that. I don't understand players who don't get a little vigilante in them, in a situation like that. On-field justice is really, really effective as a deterrent toward that kind of behavior. And if you don't do it, if you don't penalize the clowns, you're going to have more clown.